Guys, welcome back to Southern Extreme TV. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on my channel. Today, I want to talk to you guys about custom rifles versus stock rifles. So thanks for hanging out with me on the channel. If you are new to Southern Extreme TV, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are trying to grow this thing to 100,000 subs. So I really appreciate y'all hanging out, and I hope that you enjoy the topic of today's video as much as I'm going to enjoy talking about it, because we're talking about firearms. We're talking about stock firearms versus custom firearms, and maybe what might be right for you, and some of the pros and the cons for each of them, and hopefully this will help you make that decision as to what avenue you want to go on your new rifle purchase. So let's talk just kind of off the cuff. What is a custom rifle? And a custom rifle can be a very generalistic idea that somebody may have for a type of gun or a style of gun that they want. In my eyes, a custom rifle is a rifle that is manufactured or put together or purposely built specifically for you, your needs, and what you want out of a rifle. And essentially, it's not that the gun can't be reproduced or that it's the only gun like it out there in the world, but it's the fact that you can't buy that specific rifle necessarily on an assembly line at Bass Pro Shop, at Walmart, whatever the case may be. That gun is built specifically for you with your needs and wants and kind of your own personal touches put together on it. And I think that's a really big deal for people that like to I don't even want to say that like to own a lot of guns, but maybe you're somebody who enjoys having a do-it-all type of gun, and you want it to be the perfect gun for you. Going with a custom build may be the better option for you. Whereas the stock and what I call the stock rifles, which is, you know, what you typically see with your Savages and your Rugers, those style rifles, they serve a fantastic purpose on the market, and I think that it helps get new shooters into the world. I think it helps introduce people to potentially new calibers that maybe you're on the fence about. It allows you to get a cheap start shooting a different caliber gun versus what you may be comfortable with right now, without having to jump all the way into the price point of a custom rifle. So I think both guns have a fantastic place in the industry, and I think that the different things that each rifle offers is really and truly what you need to look at and ultimately make that determination as to which one's right for you. So I already talked a little bit about the custom rifle and what my opinion is on what a specific custom rifle is and how it's built. And I've talked to you a little bit about the stock rifle and how it's kind of a mass-produced, your bigger name brands. You can buy it at your mom and pop stores. You can buy it at Bass Pro, Walmart, Cabela's, places like that. Let's talk about the stock rifles and why I am a pro. I am pro stock rifle. And I know some of you that keep up with the channel may be a little weary about why I'm saying that, because you see me shooting a lot of custom rifles, and I've grown accustomed to loving custom rifles, but I still want to resort back to some of the stock rifles that I own, and the reason that I think that they serve a fantastic purpose. And one of those guns I want to bring up and mention is this gun right here. This is the Savage Axis. This is actually the gun that my wife deer hunts with. And I wanted to bring this gun out to show you, mainly because of the versatility behind it, and I think that this gun proves a lot of the talking points for advocating for a stock rifle. Number one is going to be price point. This gun right here, now obviously this gun is a little more expensive now, but when I purchased this gun, I found this gun at Walmart, and I believe that this gun was roughly $220 to $250, stainless barrel. It did not come with a scope. I put a Vortex Crossfire 2 scope on it, 3x9x40. So all in with the optics, the rail, the stainless barrel, in a 6.5 Creedmoor, I've got about $350 tied up in this hunting rig. So number one, with this rifle, the price point is fantastic, because if you are on the cuff of maybe trying, like I mentioned earlier, a different caliber, it gives you a fantastic way to get into that caliber to see if it's what you want. For me, what I liked about it is the rifle is really lightweight. It's a pencil barrel because my wife is not shooting a suppressor. She's going out rifle hunting a couple times out of the year. It's lightweight, it's short, it's easy for her to maneuver. And from my perspective, I'm not investing a huge amount of money in a deer hunting rifle that she's not going to use quite as much or as often as what I'm going to be using my hunting rifles. And I'm okay with that. The other thing about it is the price point allows me to be a little less, I'm going to say, critiquing, if that's a word, on how we treat this rifle. Because again, this is a cheaper rifle. It's a stock rifle. So we can bang it, drop it out of the tree stand, do whatever we want to do with it. Obviously not, intentionally, but being able to pick this rifle up, throw it in the trunk of a car, or being able to throw it into the back seat and not really worry that much about it, it gives you that luxury. It gives you that luxury of truly using this weapon as a tool and being able to freely use it as a tool as well. So it's a fantastic way that I was able to get my wife, who is somewhat new to the shooting sports world, into a lightweight, maneuverable gun that's a stainless steel barrel that will ultimately serve a purpose of shooting and killing a deer. The accuracy on this rifle is fantastic for what it is. Again, we're not talking about a $4,000 rifle. We're talking about a $300 all-in gun, and being able to shoot MOA groups out of it is really all that she needs to be doing out of this rifle. And it, like I mentioned earlier, it was just a great way to get her into the shooting industry, into the shooting world. And she loves this gun. I've tried my best to buy her some custom rifles and let her shoot some custom rifles, and she likes them. And obviously I like them, but she keeps reverting back to this because it's lightweight. She doesn't feel intimidated by using it, and it's very, very simplistic. The simplicity behind loading it, the safety, the trigger, everything's very simple on this rifle. And I think that's what she enjoys, and that's what I enjoy as well. So, being able to have all of those boxes checked with a very budget-friendly rifle is awesome to me. Now, there's other options in the stock world as well, such as this Savage 110 Trail Hunter, where you start getting a little more features on this rifle versus the Savage Axis that I just showed you there. This is a gun that comes with a little bit better stock. It's got a Hogue overmolded stock. It's got a Cerakoted barrel. It's not a stainless barrel, but it is Cerakoted, so it's going to give you a little bit of weather protection. And it is threaded, so you get the ability to put a suppressor or a muzzle brake on this thing if you want to. And that's a big deal. It also comes on the 110 action. So if you're not familiar with the Savage 110 action, I believe that it is one of the oldest manufactured actions that are still on the market today. I'm assuming it and probably the Remington 700 or a Winchester, somewhere along those lines, are probably some of your older actions. But the 110 is a tried and true action in Savage's lineup, and it's very smooth, very functional, very easy to clean, very easy to operate. And again, this gun is coming in at that $600 price point, so still sub $1,000 to get this rifle. Now, this specific rifle is in a 30-06, so it's a long action 30 caliber gun, which is a fantastic deer hunting round. It's a fantastic elk hunting round. You can do arguably anything with the 30-06 that the 300 Winchester Magnum can do. And you can do it on a $600 budget. Now, this scope here is a little bit more on the pricey side versus the Vortex that you've seen on my wife's scope. This scope here is going to run you around $250 to $300. So all in all, your package is still floating with your optic right there at about that $1,000 price point, with the optic or with the scope rings, the rail, everything included. So you start creeping up in price, even though you can go to just about any mom and pop store nowadays and find this specific rifle. You can order it on a lot of websites. You get a lot of features with this, still staying under that $1,000 price point. And again, it checks a lot of boxes. Maybe you're somebody who, maybe you have a couple of the Savage Axis, and maybe you like a specific caliber in that gun, and maybe you just want something that's a little bit nicer feeling of a rifle, has a little bit more features on it, and maybe something that just looks a little bit better and maybe shoots a little more accurately than the lower end rifles do. This is a great option for you to go with. And it just fits the bill for a lot of people. And I've enjoyed this rifle. I've enjoyed shooting my wife's 6.5 Creedmoor. And they're really good functional rifles at the end of the day. And again, the price point is one of the things that allows you, to me, to treat this gun like a hunting rifle. It's designed to hunt with, it's designed to be shot, it's designed to be carried, taken in and out of vehicles, and the normal everyday wear and tear on a hunting rifle is okay to be seen on this, because that's what it is. It's a tool to be used. So being able to use that, and like I said earlier, being able to, for it to be functional is huge. But I want to talk about the other end of the spectrum, and what you typically find in the stock rifle hunting world is you start seeing people slowly make that transition from, say, let's say your Savage Axis, your $300 rifle, very budget friendly rifle. You start seeing them creeping up to that Ruger American Gen 2 price range, Savage Model 110 Trail Hunter, all the way up to some of your other Savages and Remington 700s, into that kind of $1,000 to $1,200 price range. And what you find is really from about this $500 mark all the way up to, I'm going to argue and say, about $1,600, you are not really getting any more or any less features with the rifle. And a great example of that is the difference between this Savage 110 Trail Hunter and, let's say, a Bergara HMR. Where your Bergara HMR is on a Model 700 action. You can get it in a multitude of different calibers. It comes with a stainless or a Cerakoted barrel. I think it comes with a Cerakoted barrel, so very similar to this. But you're still not necessarily getting all that much more other than the name of the Bergara, the barrel, and you're spending a little bit more money. And what I typically find is somewhere, the people that are spending the money somewhere around that $600 price point, they have a very hard time jumping from that $600 price point to that $1,500 price point. And for me, once I started understanding the idea behind custom rifles and what they do and what they give the consumer, once I realized that, it made that jump a lot easier, because what you typically see is you have people that are making these purchases onto the Savage 110 Trail Hunters or the High Countries or even the Bergaras for on up there at $1,200 or $1,300. And they buy that rifle, it's in the caliber that they want, they've done some testing with some of the cheaper stuff, and they're like, man, this is the caliber, this is the gun, the action, everything that I want. But maybe it's lacking on the trigger, maybe it's lacking on the chassis or the stock that's on there, maybe it's lacking on the Picatinny rail that comes on it. There's a multitude of different things that maybe you're like, I like the gun, but these little minor things I'm going to change. And what you wind up doing is you invest that $1,000 to $1,200 into a stock rifle, and then you begin making modifications to it. You go and you buy an Ultradyne chassis for $500 or $600, or maybe you buy an XLR for $1,200 or $1,300 chassis. You could buy an MDT from $500 all the way up to $1,500, and then now that rifle turns into a $1,300 rifle. It turns into a $2,300 to $2,500 rifle, and again, you still have that stock barrel with the stock trigger, with the somewhat of a stock action, and you put it in a chassis, and you have that $2,000 price point invested into that gun, and really and truly, you're not that much farther away from getting a fully custom built rifle. And we're kind of on that cuff of bolt action, so I want to talk about this one here that was built by Night Stalker Precision for me. This was a purpose-built gun for me to take hunting up in the Appalachian Mountains on public ground. It's a short barrel, 16.5-inch barrel. It's got an Ultradyne chassis on it, which I picked the color because on those mountain hunts, I'm going to be hunting from the ground. So I wanted something that was going to be kind of a mute color that's going to blend in well when I'm sitting at the stump of a tree. I was able to put a Hogue grip on this, which the Hogue grip I've been running on some of my predator hunting stuff for the last 10, 12, 15 years. So it's very comfortable to me. And I have the ability to have a folding chassis, so I'm able to pack this thing down super compact. And it's a really, really well-built rifle. And what a lot of people have a hard time understanding is this gun with a carbon fiber barrel that is manufactured by BSF, the track scope, the custom action, it's a soulless action, very smooth, really, really like that action. And then I've got a Trigger Tech diamond in this gun. So for everything that you have in this firearm, for not that much more money, you can have this gun. And a lot of people are buying a stock Savage like this, or like the Bagaras, or the upper end Remington Model 700s. They're taking this Hogue stock off, they're swapping the trigger out, they're changing, they're changing the Cerakote color scheme on it, or whatever it may be, and they're within several $100s at that point of this rifle. And with this rifle, I was able to build the exact gun that I wanted. I got the exact chassis, the exact color chassis that I wanted. I was able to pick out the exact carbon fiber barrel manufacturer that I wanted. I picked out the exact action that I wanted on it, the exact trigger that I wanted, and the exact buttstock. And everything about it is fully customizable. And to me, that is where that kind of light bulb somewhat clicked on in my mind of, man, I've got all these rifles that, I buy that are just stock rifles that I love, and I start wanting to do all these modifications to them. And what I realized really quickly is by the time I get done doing all of those modifications, I could be very close to having a custom built rifle. And what I like about a custom built rifle is it gives you the ability to think through just about every scenario while you're out there in the woods hunting and in the outdoors. And it allows you to incorporate your hunting style, your specific needs, the game that you're going to be going after. It allows you to incorporate all of that into what you're wanting to do. If you're wanting to target practice, if you're wanting to shoot long distance, if you're wanting to be a lightweight mobile hunter, if you're wanting to have just an all-around rifle that's good for a deer stand or whatever it may be, it gives you that ability. And by the time you buy a stock rifle and you make those changes and those modifications to it, you're better off going with a custom rifle. Now, if you're somebody who just wants to buy the old Savage Axis for $300, throw it in the back of a pickup truck and go deer hunting with it, then by all means, that's what that rifle was designed to do. And that rifle is very, very good at doing that. However, if you're in that ballpark of where you're like, man, I've got some of these lower end price point guns with some lower end features, but I really just want to step it up a notch, and you're on that hill, I guess, or on that fence of going to a fully custom rifle, or maybe you don't even know that a fully custom rifle is even, available or even a possibility. It is. And it just opens up the door for you to do so much more. And the other thing about it with a custom rifle is you have the option of something like this. Now, this is also a Night Stalker Precision AR-10. And you can go with an AR-15 or an AR-10. For those of you that don't know, AR-15 is a smaller action, so all of this will be just a little bit smaller, but you're also shooting some smaller calibers. Whereas your AR-10, you're shooting a little bit larger calibers, 6.5 Creedmoors, 243s, 308s. You get the idea. AR-15, you're shooting the 223, the 6.5 Grendel, stuff very, very similar to that. So really, really awesome that you can get something completely built for exactly your needs. So this gun right here is what you will see me and Guffey coyote hunting the most with. We're doing a lot of predator hunting with this. Guffey runs a 6.5 Creedmoor. I run a 6.5 Creedmoor. We were able to do every single thing carbon fiber on this gun, and the reason that we went carbon fiber is because when we're going out coyote hunting and predator hunting, we've got a lot of gear that we're carrying with us. And when we're getting in and out of the truck, we're doing a bunch of different things, going in and out of fields, walking over some pretty heavy terrain. We need a gun that's extremely, extremely lightweight for the most part. So if you guys are on the market looking for a custom rifle and you are looking for something that you really want to just buy once, cry once, and make it be your gun that you really want, then check out somebody like Night Stalker Precision. Talk through some different options with them, because again, you don't necessarily have to go with everything carbon fiber or do the nicest of the nice stuff. You can still get a steel barrel, a carbon fiber barrel. You don't have to go full carbon fiber stock. You can go with a normal looking chassis. You don't have to go with this nice fancy ultra dime. There's different options to meet your price point and your budget. So it's just something to think about, some different aspects of, is a custom rifle purpose built for you, or are you more of a stock kind of guy? And I think that for me, I think I'm kind of lie in the middle. I love having the option of picking up a gun that I can go and beat the crap out of and not think that much about it, but I also like the idea of being able to have something that's going to be carbon fiber, that's real custom built for exactly what I'm looking to do. So really appreciate you guys hanging out with me on my channel. If you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are trying to grow this thing to 100,000 subs. I'll see you guys on the next episode.